All praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations, much love and respect to you, Akim, out there pushing this word out in truth and sincerity. I have to do another lesson. Tawadi Abashim El Shai for giving me the spirit to do this lesson. Now, this lesson right here is going to be in basically going into the fact of how they control the narrative on certain topics in media. Okay, and it's funny because I mentioned this to brothers maybe a week ago or a few days ago. And here is an example. Sometimes you mention things in the spirit, you don't really have an example in your mind, but you know this is the type of things that go on, right? But this right here is an example of what I was talking about. They usually, when Esau has his media, he'll have somebody that opposes maybe a controversial topic, right? But really they want this particular topic and mindset to be pushed forward. So they'll have someone that opposes it on the panel, but their opinion will be flooded out and defeated basically by the talking points of the other people on the panel. Okay? Because that's what it was set up to do. That's what was set up to happen. It was set up to be defeated, right? So what I want to do is I want to play this, but first I'm going to read this scripture. This is Genesis 3 and verse 1. It says, "Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, which Yahweh power had made." Now the serpent we know was a man with serpent-like characteristics. He was very subtle, okay? "And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath the Most High said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden." Right? So what we're going to do is we're going to look up this word subtle. Okay, we're going to look up this word subtle. That's the point. That's the thing I wanted to do. And that word is irawum, which says subtle, shrewd, crafty, sly, sensible, crafty, shrewd, sensible, prudent. Okay, so these Edomites are very, very crafty. Okay, and you come down here to the lexicon, it says in a good sense, prudent, cautious. Okay, so they're not just going to come out right aggressively and completely combat it, right? And say, nah, this is what we believe. You should take the mark of the beast. You should take the microchip. It's great. And this is going to be the new wave. And this is what we're going to be doing. And everyone should accept it. No, they'll have somebody on the panel that will oppose it, right? You'll have somebody that say, oh, this is interesting technology. Then you'll have somebody that will oppose it and say, no, I'm partially against it. This is too creepy, so on and so forth. But then you'll have a few other people that'll say, nah, well, you're wrong because such and such and such and such. So it seems like there's an actual conflict going back and forth, but really that person was just controlled opposition. Now, that's what I mean by that, right? So they're subtle, they're prudent, they're cautious, so on and so forth. So now let's go to this video. This is not going to be too long. Let's play this video.
The congregation. The View has promoted open misandry on their platform for years now, and they've recently gone viral for a clip that I'm going to go over for you guys today. Put your seatbelts on. This one's going to be an interesting one. Without further ado...
So there's this clip going viral online of a dozen women being asked the following question. Do we need men?
Do we need men in our society? Listen to this.
Do we need men?
No.
Do we need men?
Honestly, no.
Do we need men?
No.
Why?
Because they suck.
Okay, well, some bad news to these man-hating feminists. I am so sorry to break this to you, but we absolutely need men. And not just for the sake of our population not dying out forever and the world coming to...
I'm going to skip this part because she's going to go into why they need men, which is obvious. First of all, women were created for men, so that's just a foolish talking point. But this is the mindset that Esau wants these women to have, right? So let's hear what one woman says, because she's going to oppose that fact, but then listen to how they respond to it.
And that is a scientific fact.
Most answered very quickly, no. And only one said she thought women needed a man in their lives, only one. But when men were asked a similar question, do we need women, most of them said yes. So why do you think that is?
Because men are useless. I mean, and by the way, I want to differentiate between straight men and gay men, because I think I would die without gay men. Nobody can gossip like gay men. Nobody can.
A clear agenda, right? So these people are going to be destroyed. These people on the View, that Latino slut bag, she's going to be destroyed as well. Right, but she's set up to say what she says. This is Isaiah 5 and verse 20. It says, "Woe unto them that call evil good." Right, we know what the scriptures say about that alphabet lifestyle. It says it's evil, right? But she's calling that good, and she's calling straight men wicked and evil, right? Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Woe unto them that are wise in their own eyes and prudent in their own sight. And this is what she's saying. So woe meaning destruction unto her. The Lord is going to deal with her and anyone that has that mindset. Okay, because it's an agenda to basically demonize straight men, and then to basically glorify this alphabet lifestyle, this new man. Notice you'll have a lot of these women that'll praise a man when he's walking around in high heels in a dress. Oh my God! They'll clap, they'll praise it because it's demonic. But if a man is being a real man, he's putting his foot down and so on and so forth. He's controlling. He's this. He's that. He's toxic masculine. He's pushing toxic masculinity because they're in basically they're under a demonic spell. And this is the reason why the serpent came to the woman, because the woman is easily manipulated. Now, you heard what this demon said, but there's going to be another woman beside her. Well, she's a demon too, but she's playing a role, okay? But she's going to oppose everything that they're saying. Let's go.
Help you accessorize like gay men. Nobody can help you keep you from doing harm to yourself like gay men.
No one could keep you from doing harm to yourself like a real man, like a masculine man. But y'all don't want to hear that. To you call that controlling.
But with the exception of somebody like Steve, I think Steve is very self-sufficient.
That's Joy's husband.
But like my husband, it takes a village of women to make sure that he's not emaciated, starving, and living in his own filth. He can,
Yeah.
But you guys are married to people that are more.
I have Handy Manny at home.
Imagine being at home, the husband to this awful woman right here.
Manny at home. No, he fixes everything. When things go bump in the night, he's the one that goes downstairs. When there's a bug to be exterminated, he does the extermination.
Nope.
When there is something to be fixed, he fixes it. He throws out the trash and he throws out the recyclables. I enjoy all the man stuff.
So wait a second. I know what you're going to say, but wait. She's really talking.
Pay attention to how one of the wives on the panel begins to speak positively regarding her husband or the man in her life, and watch how the other panelists respond to this.
About a servant, let's face it.
She's talking about a servant.
Handyman.
Well,
She's talking about.
it's a handy manny.
Oh, it's a handyman with benefits.
We do not have.
Well, but the things that you're describing, you could pay somebody to do that. We're not talking about
Look.
that. What about the inner life of a man? That's what this is about.
I need my man.
Well, with that logic, first of all, who's coming to do those things when you pay them? It's men that's coming, number one. And number two, everything that you're doing, washing the clothes, whatever, you can hire a housekeeper. You can go to a restaurant and order food. So what are you talking about? What are you even saying? What they're saying makes no sense. It's nonsensical, right? But whatever.
3 to 4 times a week. And good for you guys. And the rest of the time, I need a wife. Because I've always said.
Yeah, because the value of a man in your life is only reduced down to what he can do inside of your box. The Messiah.
So anyway, so you saw what she said, right? When she mentioned that her husband did this, and she didn't oppose anything that woman said about men are useless, and she didn't say nothing. They have no pushback for that, right? But as soon as the woman said, "Oh, my man does this, such and such and such and such for me," oh, well, that's stuff that you can hire somebody to do. So that's not what we're talking about. So they dismissed the one that had the opposing views, because this is the view that they want. And it's funny that this show is called The View. The view that they want is the view and the opinion that women don't need men. They want women to continue down that road of being independent, uncooperative, masculine, that new age women. That's what they want. That's what they're trying to push forward. But they're trying to mask it by saying, no, this is an equal debate on whether men are useful or not. No, it's not an equal debate, because they're pushing forth their ideology in a subtle way. Like we said, it said what? Genesis 3:1. It said what? The serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field. Okay, and the serpent is the one that runs the earth right now, the Edomites. All right. Matter of fact, we can go to Revelations, the 20th chapter, to prove that. This is Revelations 20 and verse 1. It says, "And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years, and cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more." So that's that old serpent, the devil and Satan. That's not talking about the spiritual demon Satan. The spiritual demon Satan was not bound for 1,000 years. Because if the spiritual demon Satan was bound for 1,000 years, wouldn't that mean that the whole world would be a utopia? Wouldn't that mean nothing but righteousness would have been going on in the earth for 1,000 years? No, that's not what happened. Okay, so we know this is speaking about a particular nation, right? That's the nation of the Edomites, right? Which has the spirit of the serpent from the garden within them. Okay, and cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him. Now, the bottomless pit is speaking about Europe. Okay, he wasn't able to come into power for a certain time because we ruled Europe for 1,000 years, the so-called black people. Okay, that he should deceive the nations no more till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled, and after that he must be loosed a little season. And that's what we're seeing now. He's been loosed, and he's went around and deceived the whole earth. Okay, and he's still using his subtlety, his craftiness to deceive the world. And this is part of his subtlety. This is part of his craftiness, because it seems harmless, but it's very, very destructive. That's the thing about the serpent. It seems harmless, but it's very, very destructive. Okay, the same thing with what he told Eve. It seemed harmless. She said, "Oh, it looks good to eat." In other words, the philosophy seems good. It seems like a good philosophy, a good mindset. And as soon as she took hold of that, all hell broke loose, and basically now we all die. You see? But it was subtle. This is Job. Let's do Psalms. Psalms 80. No, not Psalms 83. Let's do Job 15. Job 15 and verse 4. It says, "Yea, thou castest off fear, and restrainest prayer before the Most High. For thy mouth uttereth thine iniquity, and thou choosest the tongue of the crafty." This is what Esau chooses, the tongue of the crafty. "Thine own mouth condemneth thee, and not I. Yea, thine own lips testify against thee." So this is why when you read Psalm 64, it says their own tongue, the Lord made their own tongue to fall upon themselves, right? So you have these different whistleblowers revealing them, right? And that's all from the Heavenly Father. This is Psalm 64 and 6. It says, "They search out iniquities, they accomplish a diligent search, both the inward thought of every one of them, and the heart is deep. But the Most High shall shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly shall they be wounded. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away." So they're revealing themselves, right? And, now even people who couldn't see it before, they're clearly seeing that these people are wicked, right? So, hey, this is an example of their craftiness. This is an example of their subtlety. This is an example of their witchcraft that they're pushing in the minds of the people. That's the word media. The word media goes back to a medium. A medium between what? A medium between what? Right? Matter of fact, if we look up the word medium, let's look up the word medium. Let's look up the word medium. Should be two definitions. Medium, an agency or means of doing something. The intervening substance through which impressions are conveyed to the senses, or a force acts on objects at a distance. The radio communication needs no physical medium between the two stations. Now, the intervening substance through which impressions are conveyed. Let's see what else. Let's see what else they got there. Right, because the intervening substance through which impressions are conveyed to the senses, or a force acts on objects at a distance. Yes. Now, what is it intervening? What is intervening? The media, right? The television, the different shows, whatever. It's intervening between you and, what they want you to believe, through their left-hand energy. It's a medium between that, right? So it's conveyed to what? The senses, to your subconscious, right? Or a force acts on objects at a distance, right? Because they don't have to be with you. They could be, all across another part of the world, and you're watching them through the TV, conveying a message, conveying something to your senses. Let's see if they have something else. Right. Oh, here's number 5. It says a person claiming to be in contact with the spirits of the dead and to communicate between the dead and the living. Right. So that goes into what? Familiar spirits. Right. There was someone who said that having a TV in your house is like having Satan's altar in your house. Right. So it's when you go into the word, the etymology of the word, it goes back to the Latin medium, which means middle, right? It's between you and what they want, and between you and them, right? To give you what? A spiritual information that they want you to receive. Okay. And it's subtle. It's very subtle. Like even these commercials, they got certain imagery in there to, that flash quickly, that go into your subconscious, right? So this is all, it's all spiritual. It's all witchcraft that they're putting upon you, right? And I wanted to point that out because I found it very interesting, and it really backed up what I said in the spirit of Yahweh Shai of the fact that, they always have somebody on a panel that will be usually opposing, a particular view, and they'll be opposing it, and you think that they're actually against it. But when you really watch it, their views and talking points are dismantled and destroyed by those other people, right? Because they're allowing their talking points to be destroyed by those other people, because it's really one-sided. Okay, I just thought that was interesting. I didn't want this to be too long. I just want to point that out. I was just watching and I said, this is witchcraft right here. So with that, Lord willing, this was edifying to the elect. I'll say shalom.